it's going to be Soniqs versus Spacestation Gaming. The winner of this matchup will head to LAN, and Spacestation already kicked things off with a Jackal ban. What do you think of that? We've seen quite a few Jackal bans in NA.
Whenever you see the Jackal ban, you expect them to perhaps try and go for some roam game. Because that's like the obvious thing is, and that's why Jackal's there, is to try and deny roamers their same freedom and capability. And also eliminate smokes, which we know can also be a massive thing that teams always want to try and limit. There's the expected Thatcher ban now, so that kitchen becomes Fort Knox.
Yeah, I mean, this generally just turns Cafe into a bit of a freak show, honestly. It becomes very, very difficult to kind of wither away. I think Spacestation have a better idea how to play this with the Thatcher ban, because when I was watching Soniqs versus Obey, it seemed like Soniqs were really lost during their attacks and what to do. Obviously, Soniqs have banned out the Thatcher, so they do have an idea of what they want to do here, but maybe a bit of the shakes coming through. Hopefully they do put those off against their matching at Spacestation now, as they'll take Echo off the board, and Spacestation probably going to take Mirror off the board here, I would expect. No!
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
Gonna be one of these matches.
I think that's the third Jaeger ban we've seen so far in OGA.
It's gonna be one of those, James. We're in for, honestly, it'll probably be a pretty quick matchup, because there's gonna be so many like nades coming in. Perhaps it was just a specific ban to Soniqs, you know, not allowing Gumphy or Sleben to have that operator. Who knows? I doubt it, though. I think they're just gonna bring like a lot of heavy nades now, and okay.
I like how in this matchup there isn't good luck, have fun. There is just okay. Everyone just confirming, okay, that's what we're doing. We're doing a Jaeger ban.
So we know for a fact now that Soniqs were not expecting that in the slightest.
Well, I mean, I don't think anyone would really expect that. It's kind of a very weird out there ban. It will mean we do have Mirror available, and SSG will choose to go to Reading Room Fireplace. Now, something we noticed about SSG, I think their attacks have been a lot stronger since Canadian made his way into this lineup. Obviously, Canadian, known as one of the more experienced IGLs. And it's been a long time since Spacestation really had like a proper IGL. You could argue Redeemer was a decent IGL for them as well, but going back to the days of King Leo back on Most Wanted as well, like I think for me, he was the last like real proper IGL that Spacestation had. So it's been interesting to see how much more organized Spacestation have definitely been able to pull off their attacks in, with Canadian making his way into the lineup, but we'll see what a Reading Room defense will look like. Of course, because this is Soniqs' map pick, it'll mean that Spacestation get to pick sides first, and they've opted to go to the defense first.
Well, you look at the Canadian pick, it was a long-term setup for SSG. They're going to try and get their values worth in the long term, and we've already seen Canadian, who was primarily known for EG, is to be like a main entry to pick up those kills. He's now hard Thermite for this team. Really surprised a lot of people that he took that role on, but whenever he is IGLing, it makes a lot of sense, and I already see the more structured playstyle SSG on their attacks, and it does look really solid from what we have, and if they can try and best Soniqs, then we know that forward play is starting to take shape.
Well, let's talk about Soniqs a little bit. They did play Cafe against EG during the first half of the season before Gonfi and Sleben made their way into this lineup, and they did lose that 7-2, but in that matchup, Super was running Lion quite a lot during their attack, so the reintroduction of Lion here for Soniqs' attack does make a lot of sense, and it's clear they have played with this before and they do know what they're doing with it. But yeah, I mean, we haven't seen this kind of strategy from their attack since the days of Gonfi, and well, there goes Super. He's going to pick up the first kill of the round already. Bosco going to lose his life.
No nades in Soniqs, even with the Egger ban. Instead, bringing in the Ying to try and utilize the Candelas. Don't really see a whole lot of that operator. Back in the old Season 8 days, she was everywhere, accompanied by a Glaz. It was one of the metas that literally broke the meta. But since those days are gone, we don't see her as much. And just the fact that those Candelas, you now need to really hold them to get that insta-flash. And oh, a nice run out though from Folsom, misses through the pillar. Surprised he let that one slip, and he's managed to get Neptune's away with his life. But Neptune's now has to be careful. Another Lion Charge comes in, and Canadian has been stunned and flashed and everything. And there's the trade-off, but still False rotates up through White and does pick off Gonfi. So a 3-3-4, but still for Soniqs, they have the upstairs control, they have what they wanted, and SSG, they have to back away.
They also have a huge amount of utility still remaining. They also still have, as you said, upstairs control, but they also have loads of time. We're only halfway into the round, and 2 members of Spacestation have already gone down for it. They've also lost one of their Nitros in Bosco. That upstairs control, as you said, has gone in the way of Soniqs. Now they can start to do the work, but don't actually have a huge amount of soft destruction from their end.
They do have breaching charges on Ying that they can try and open up some vertical holes. I'm curious to see how SSG will want to try and approach this, because we know how structured their lineup is, but they're going to have to start moving away whenever some of those key positions that they're set in get opened up above them, and there is a rotate coming in from Fault, so he's trying to go in towards the pillar stairs, and Goddess drops right in towards pillars, and will try and open up in towards the reading walls. We never see those get opened. Super trying to cover pillars for her, but still, Goddess holding on firm, and does see one man tucked away inside a Dine-In, and eliminates him. There's the refrag, though, with the trade-off from Faults again, but still Soniqs, they're in control. Now Rampy at a 1v2, has the LMG. Upstairs he goes, creeping his way, just has to be careful. Diffuser cold on the ground, though, and Soniqs need to try and pick that back up.
So Neptune's does actually rotate all the way to Cigar as well. Looks like they are aware that Rampy is above, but no, Neptune's going to fall off. He's going below. Super droning out the side, and they're going to be aware that Rampy is not in the site. Rampy's slowly making his way to heaven as well to try and knock this all off. The line charge is going to go out. Neptune's going to go deep, and he's going to start to plant. Super holding down the angle as well. Rampy only barely missing him. He's going to have to fall off completely. Sees Neptune's, but Super will take him out. And Soniqs will take... Oh no, it was actually Neptune's who took him out. Soniqs will take round number 1. Neptune's on this map is an absolute animal on that Nomad reflex. I don't know how he does it.
Oh, crisp. Again, I just... That entire round for Soniqs just looked as if it was given to them. There was no real fight back from SSG from the top floor. I think the kill not being applied by Castle in that early run out kind of did hurt them, because that east side pressure forced in Canadian out of the bar, had to go into white, met a Ying and then a Sophia as well. Just those little tiny mistakes where you think it's a sure kill probably would have changed the outcome of that round.
Well, it's going to be a kitchen service and kitchen cooking defense coming out from Spacestation here. This is going to change things up, and we'll see Slevin. He's going to be bringing along the Buck. No Ying this time coming out from him. But Bosco, again, could be bringing along the castle. Oh, sorry, Bosco's playing Mozzie last round, but we do see the castle again coming out from Space Station, rather than the bandit. Now, of course, like, with the Thatcher ban, you don't really necessarily need the bandit here. You can just, the mute is good enough, I think, honestly, at this point. And
you have the Kaid there as well.
I mean, we also talked about it earlier, talking about the fact that we don't see a lot of Maverick usage on this map, really, normally, other than you're talking about, like, that top floor attack.
I've seen teams ban Maverick in this map, and I'm, like, thinking, why? Why are you doing that for? That does absolutely nothing, just because there's not a whole lot of areas that Maverick's useful in. Yeah, nearly everything that is, like, bandit tricked or even electroclawed, they can all be eliminated from above by vertical holes. Or we've seen in Latin America yesterday, whenever we've seen Cafe being played and there was Kai charges on walls, they breach and round it from on top of the skylight in towards freezers. So there's plenty of options that you can really deal with. It's not as if we're dealing with a clubhouse where it can be tricky.
Yeah, no, that is definitely true. We'll have a look how things are going to go down. So moving to round number 2, it's going to be kitchen attack coming out from Soniqs. We'll see exactly what they want to do with this. Last time they were able to gain that top floor control very, very early on. It looks like they're going to go again very similarly for that top floor control. You see lots of repels coming out as well, as Slevin making his way to the roof, be able to do what he can.
Just holding an angle, Super, looking for an opening pick of somebody rotating out of train and into dining, as there is a hefty amount of upstairs control for SSG, trying to deny access to Soniqs. That vertical control, of course, bringing the Buck in kind of leads us to believe that that's the route they want to take. They're not bringing that Ying, they are instead favoring for the skeleton key. I do like the setup, though, from SSG. I like the fact that they're having a bit of a go. I want to see some intensity. I want to see them take the fight to Soniqs and don't allow them to have the freedom and the control to just allow them to spread out. And I think for Soniqs, whenever you leave them untampered, they can do a lot of work. I think they have individual players there who we know can just appear out of nowhere with 2 kills. Neptune's one of the most underrated players, I think, in the region. Big fan of the guy. You look at Comfy, you look at Slevin, we know what they're capable of course. You just cannot allow them to do what they're doing, and well, SSG, they have put up the fight and they've got the first knockout.
Yeah, Neptune's already going to go down as you bigged him up, so that's Caster's Curse for you right there. It's Comfy.
Oh, come on.
It's only the
second round, James.
It's Caster's Curse, we talked about him, and he died instantly. It was all on you, Demo.
No.
The Canadian going to go for that rotate through train, and overall Space Station still have a lot of control here, as well as that opening pick. Still 90 cam is up as well from Thinking Nid. You should be able to see what's going on there, and there's still quite an aggressive haul coming out from Space Station, but Bosco's going to get pinged out, but Canadian finds yet another kill. Both the Europeans going, one of the Europeans going down. Slevin goes down as well, as Neptune's Gomfy does move in, however, getting the trade onto Canadian, and it will avenge his fallen European brother.
Still a minute to go. Soniqs do have semi-control of the map, but Most people from SSG, they have decided to fall back towards the first floor, but there's still that roam potential. They can rotate in towards the main stairs and, of course, the back stairs, and also the new pillar stairs that was added in not too long ago. So there is options for SSG to keep continuing that pressure. Two players from Sonic stacked up outside of white and may look to entry in towards the freezer, and that hole has been made for them by SSG. That was there specifically to give themselves a rotation advantage. Now they know, because that's where Sonics are aiming up towards, all the guns are pointed that direction.
So we'll see, Zofia charges are going to be coming out deep, but we still got Rampy on the flank as well. He'll go for it. Goddess does go down. That's the Diffuser out of it. Rampy still holding down VIP. Gets another one. There goes Super. We'll see Rampy is going to sign closing out, but no, it's going to be Fultz who closes it out himself. And Spacestation will take round number 2 with a successful defense of the kitchen. Very aggressive hold coming out from them, with a couple of opening frags going in their favor, thanks to Canadian as well.
Kitchen expected to kind of hunker down and hold that, but to be fair, even if Thatcher was available, would it have really mattered the way Sonics played that round out? It was all came down to the mid-floor control that SSG were having in the quick aggressive gunfire that they managed to put the pressure on the Sonics. So in the long term, I think it was just a failed Sonics room clear out.
I disagree to an extent, because I think they played it like that with the trying to go down the back stairs and trying to go through white, because SSG held that in a kind of similar way to how TSM does their kitchen hold, where they make that rotate through the garage and they have a castle going down as well. So, like in holding VIP. So I think like Sonics were trying to play into that. But yeah, SSG with a really good roam game as well coming out from Canadian, kind of shutting a lot of that down.
I would kind of say that Sonics were more looking for the vertical control. They obviously brought the buck for that reason. You want to try and utilize that, and generally whenever Thatcher isn't banned, we just see a standard bakery take. You have the vertical control, so you deny the bandit tricks. You also deny some of the angles that people can play inside of A, and then you kind of push in from there. Isn't that like the more basic option? I don't see a lot of people go white, and really whenever you see a rotation hole in white, who pushes that? Like, whoever just walks into a freezer, we've seen what they tried to go for, you just get shut down. Like, everybody knows that if that hole's open, you're walking into a very confined space. And whenever people start grouping up, that's where we see, like, a Meister just start slaughtering everybody.
I think, to be fair, like, they had a lot of control there. If it wasn't for Rampy still having control of that VIP, I think they could have made that work in the end. But regardless of that, we're going to see yet another downstairs second floor defense, however, and we'll see what Spacestation want to do here. It's interesting they haven't gone bar yet, with the fact that the mirror is available.
Perhaps fearing a heavy nade setup from Sonics.
I was thinking that as well.
But Sonics haven't really went for those. They've only brought, again, just one set of nades. So nothing that they're doing. It's not as if from the first 2 rounds, SSG haven't seen Sonics go for like free nade strategy. We haven't seen like a Dokkaebi Buck and Sledge setup. We haven't seen that. Sonics are just playing as if Jaeger is there. You know, they're just playing it very standard, very safe.
I mean, they did bring the Ying in the first round, but yeah, we haven't seen like anything to indicate that Sonics want to play this any differently.
Nothing to be scared of.
I think we're just more interested in what Sonics want to do when they move on to their attack, because the lack of a Jaeger here is going to open up a lot of strategic options for you. But we'll have a look at what Spacestation want to do in this particular round as they go for that heavy top floor hold as well, coming out from Thinking Yade, Fultz, and Rampy.
I have to try and hold this one, though, because last time Sonics, they just kind of walked on in and said, hey, this is our bar now, and you're going to have to move. So that mirror does come into play. Holding from the freezer, looks straight into piano, gives you such a wide, varied control of that entire top floor. It's really tough for teams to try and take that out. But because we know there's no Jaeger, James, that means mirror's not going to be as strong. You can just simply find out where the mirror window is. And I'm sure Neptune, he should be able to get an easy frag kill now.
Yeah, that is true. I think it's also, in Cafe in general, you're playing the mirror windows quite close to each other, or you're playing quite close to the mirror window itself. So we'll see the clear coming out from Sonics. They're starting to do the work, and there we go. Neptune's just find the first nade kill of the game. Thinking Nade could be going down as well with that, but Fultz strikes back. There goes Gonfi. Neptune's still pressuring up onto the cocktail windows, but might be a jump out, but there we go. There goes the Ash of Sleben, and this is looking very good for Spacestation right now as they find their 2 kills on the board, both of the Europeans off the board.
Just slacking on the drones there for Sonics. They've really tried to play off the Lion information, but it's not guaranteed information. That's the thing about Lion. You have to move for it to give you those pings. So a drone probably would have been the better option there. They just tried to play off the refrags, and nobody was really in a position to do so. Neptune, yes, he got that 1 kill, but he hasn't really applied any pressure since then. He's just been sitting in the window, and everybody's been able to maneuver past him. Still for SSG, they have the control now of the mid-floor, and with 45 seconds to go, Sonics, they either have to try and push in and find some of these kills, or they just have to opt for the upstairs vertical control and just pray on a whim that they can make it work. And it looks as if they're just going to try and rush in, go for the kills. Both of them stacked up outside of pillars. Goddess trying to hold upstairs, but she's the one with the diffuser. Nice pickup from Neptunes, and now they're in. Free, 25 seconds to go.
Great shot coming out from Neptunes is going to move it back into a 3-3, as you said, Demo. Neptune's going to move into the hallway, but doesn't see there's someone tucked away in the corner. It is going to be Bosco on the Legion, just holding it all down. Another line charge comes out from Super, eager to try and trade this kill out, but Fultz will find his teammate of Goddess. And it's going to be all down to Super to try and find this in a 1v3 to try and find a kill, but no, he'll get shut down by Canadian. It'll be SSG who take round number 3.
That's a lot better from SSG. Very sloppy, though, from Soniqs on their attacks, not utilizing the drone potential that they could have had to assist Comfy and Sleb, and that duo that we know can really run havoc whenever they feel like it. I think getting into that mindset where you just look at the Lion, they're always going to be believing that that can be our information, that can be the way we gather, but if they're not putting on as much pressure as what they did prior, nobody's going to move from SSG. They're just going to sit back. They know how to play against the Lion. I'm pretty sure everybody should know how to play against the Lion after whenever we've seen him run rampant. Still that PTSD factor of, oh no, the charges come in.
I think people have got over that by now, right? Surely.
Tell that to G2.
That's true. So we'll see Reading Room and Fireplace Hall yet again from Space Station. This was the only defense that they dropped. And we're going to see the Warden coming out from Canadian, and again the Ying coming out from Sleb. And I like that reactionary because, of course, Soniqs, the last time they attacked it, did bring the Ying. So we see Warden actually bringing in like a hard counter. Very rare we see that.
Okay. SSG now gearing up again for another mid-floor. Soniqs, how are you going to try and capitalize on this? How are you going to try and utilize the same kind of plays that they kind of go for previously? Because if you look at the first round, having that Ying did give them that little bit more of explosiveness factor to be able to give them that go-ahead and at least make something on the board, you know, make that play. Whenever you look at their last lineup, they didn't really have that operator. Yes, we know Lion's there, but that Lion isn't that operator that lets you have the make a play because it's not always going to be guaranteed. Whenever you know there's not a Jaeger, it's very, very rare you can dodge a Candela. Isn't it, James? Like, there's 6 of them pop out, and they go everywhere. And we know how flashes work. You could be looking at the opposite direction, you'll still get flashed.
Yeah, you could literally be in a corner a mile away and staring at the floor, and you will still get flashed by that Ying. So it's pretty consistent. It's definitely like the most consistent way to flashbang in this game. So we'll have a look how Soniqs want to play this out. But of course, the Warden making an appearance is going to make the Ying a little bit less effective. We'll see how Canadian wants to play this out. But I think this is going to be all about kind of trying to hold this upstairs a lot more heavier. I do like this change up by Canadian, not only because it is a counterplay. Looks like we see the recharge coming out as well. And Neptune's goes to the peak, but Rampy takes him down and Fultz wins one of his own. That's the Lion already dead. That's a 3v5. Soniqs looking horrible right now, having lost their main operator.
This is exactly what I wanted to see from SSG with these top floor holds. They've completely changed up their technique. They are just going at it. They're trying to feed the flames into, and, well, they're bringing the heat, and they're bringing that matchup, which is what we want from both of these teams. This is a spot for the LAN, and they just need to go all in. There's no point, you know, there's no saving strats here. This is where you use the strats. There's no point saving them, and, well, they're going for the aggressive jump outs. It's worked for them. Red in, seeing that Soniqs, nearly every single round, they've always went for those east windows. Double jump out, it's worked a charm. They got 2 kills, and, well, Soniqs again. Where do you go from here?
Well, the only way to go is indeed down. We'll see if the thermite charges are going to go out from Goddess to try and open up this train hatch as well to cut off Rampy's rotate. Soniqs still doing the work, and they've still got plenty of time and plenty of utility to work with here, but as you said, no Lion. That's a big, devastating loss here for Soniqs. That's been responsible for a lot of their pushes going through. They have still got the Candelas and the Ying up on the board, but of course we do have Warden as that kind of a counter moving through. So a lot of breach charges still going down. Warden's moved his way all the way down to the bottom of half stairs as well. Thinking Nade's still holding on to sight. 1 minute left to go on the clock.
So SSG, to lose this round, they will have to throw, because I don't think it's up to Soniqs, and that's almost just put it to bed. Well, no, not almost. It has put it to bed. Goddess now 1v5. I don't think this is going to work for her.
She's got 40 seconds. She has Diffuser, and she still has an extra thermite charge as well as 3 flashbangs. So, I mean, I always say, as long as you have time and you have the Diffuser and you have utility, you can still make it work. But Goddess only has 30 seconds left to go to try and do something here. She's going to get a little bit, they're going to know where she is, and she's going to get put down. That's going to be a flawless round from Space Station. A massive improvement over the last time they held her. This is looking like dire straits now for Soniqs.
They just didn't give Soniqs the time to set up for their utility usage. They didn't allow the Ying to get in a position. They didn't let the Nomad start getting air jabs in towards the actual building. So they kind of realized in the playstyle that Soniqs went for, and they just countered that. Slabin, superpower player. 0-4 already. Not what we expect.
Yeah.
Honestly, looking at the kill comparison after 4 rounds, it's not looking favorable right now for Soniqs.
Fultz is definitely doing the work as well himself. 6-1. As we'll head into round number 5, the penultimate defense coming out from Space Station, and they'll go again to kitchen service and kitchen cooking, desperate to avoid that bar area. I think you are right. I think it's more like the fact that with the Jaeger ban, that area is like it's so small. It used to be so easy for you to ying your way in there and just like repel in. So
yeah, you need to try and take that risk, don't you? You don't allow them to have that set up.
Yeah.
Make sure just stop it before it even happens. Isn't it? It's just go back in time, realize what you did wrong. That's pretty much what they did.
I'm interested to see how Soniqs take this, because they brought Habana this time, and the fact that they brought 2 hard breaches, and they should know it's a kitchen service and kitchen cooking defense, should mean that they should have a bigger concentration at kind of clearing all that like bakery side. Because we didn't see that attack from them at all last time. They tried to go for that roam clear, it failed for them. They tried to push down the backside, that failed for them as well. They didn't clear our VAP. So I'm hoping we see a lot heavier kind of like hard breach orientated playstyle.
They just need to go all in with their roam clear out. They need to make sure it's a lot more solid. Honestly, I would like to see them take complete top floor control and then actually open up the hatch into train. Because if you think where SSG were playing last time, that was like their main point is inside this train. That's where Canadian was playing. If you open up the hatch above him, he's trapped in there. You know, that's the whole point about that room. You can't sit anywhere safely in there.
Yeah, that is true. Canadian, however, playing the Mozzie once again. And basically the same strategy coming out from Space Station all across the board. We'll see what Soniqs want to do as a reactionary to this, but already we see a bit of a change up in their lineup in their strat, and they've not brought the Lion.
Double hard breach. That's what they went for. Neptune's trying to gun the man on white stairs, but instead himself gets gunned. Did that air jab go off and it didn't fling him back?
No, I think he peeked it like as the air jab went down.
Yeah. I thought it was like a really weird prone animation he went for.
It's like a 1.5 seconds for it to get activated, right? So he just peeks it as the air jab went down.
It's really weird because he didn't get flown like all the way back, because I think it was prone, so it didn't actually like fly him all the way. It just kind of put him in the animation. It's funny the way that works.
Well, we'll see a lot of vertical play getting opened up by Soniqs if they've already lost Neptune, but Slevin will take down Canadian, and finally will find himself on the scoreboard.
That's what they needed to do. That's what we mentioned. Eliminate Canadian, open up that hatch, he can't sit anywhere, and he's a dead man, and yes, he was. So Soniqs, they've traded 1-for-1, but once more, no real headway in towards the mid floor. SSG have gave Soniqs the control, but Soniqs don't know that. They don't know they can just simply drop in and start utilizing Super on his skeleton key. They know one player is still lurking around red, and Comfy's going down to try and sniff him out. But this does allow Soniqs now a little bit more free time. They can figure out what they want to go for. This is kind of their like stage 2 of the round. Stage 1, of course, was clearing out the roamers. They did that successfully. And now it's just the final capitalization and the execution that they need to make sure they get down. But SSG still spread out numerous positions towards that bottom floor. And with those mute jammers still being there, they can't really drone them out. So it's literally playing blind.
Yeah, this isn't looking good for Soniqs at all. SSG have lost that roam game though, and Soniqs can start to do the work, but they've not got a lot of time left to do it with. Rampy going to rotate back into the site as well. As the vertical play starts to get opened up by Super, but only 40 seconds left to go on the clock. We've still got Nitros up as well from Space Station to be able to deny this vertical play going through. But the thermite charges will go out and open up the front bakery wall.
A bomb has been located.
Just waiting. See if they can find anybody slacking from SSG. Also, the back hatch being open. Are we going to see Slevin try and lone drop that and try and give them something on the table to try and play off? Comfy fires in some lifelines, does stun the player beside double door. Still hunting for the man inside of A, but there's False. He appears out of nowhere with a double kill. Super pushy down the back, will get caught out again by another crossfire. SSG, an easy lockout, an easy cleanup. And Soniqs, they lose yet again another round. 4-1 it goes, and SSG in the commanding lead.
if Soniqs cannot find another attacking round here, I do not see them taking the map, but... Well, we'll have a look what does happen as we move into round number 6. This could be the final defense for Space Station, unless, of course, we do make our way to overtime, but this is looking like a very dominant performance from them. And don't forget, Soniqs wanted to come to Cafe.
It was their pick. But hey, we've seen reverse sweeps whenever the half has kind of changed. The defense has just all of a sudden appeared out of nowhere. You think to GT Orbitless, you think to last night that we kind of witnessed from MIBR and Dragons, a 5-1 split in Clubhouse. You thought, oh, never going to lose that. Guess what, James?
Well, we'll see another fireplace halt and mining room defense coming up from Space Station here. This is like such a weird, so Space Station, clearly, as we've already discussed multiple times, completely avoiding that bar, which means we see Fireplace a couple of times making its way in, and this is a very rare sight to see. We hardly ever see this played on Cafe, but I guess it does make a lot more sense with the addition of the mirror in here. Like, mirror's way better for this site. It makes it a lot more viable, especially if you can hold on to that piano area for a while.
Just Mirror opens up, I think, a lot more possibilities for sites, and that was like the whole point of Mirror, wasn't it? To try and recreate different strategies. You know, she basically terraforms the landscape right in front of her. You think of the maps that she has had such a big influence on. You think of Border, for example. Whenever she first came out, that just completely changed the meta for that map specifically. The way you could aggressively hold things with Mira, it was a sight to behold. And then whenever the bans came in, obviously, that's where her ban rate just kind of skyrocketed and has always stayed at that level. The big three we call them, Maestro, Echo, and Mira. They do so much. And the main thing, James, of course, is all of those operators, they gain information.
Yeah, I know, definitely. Like, those are the big bans on defense, which is why it's so weird when we do see a Jaeger ban on defense. That's not an intel at all. I love what Space Station want to do here for their defense, but mostly holding on to the vertical play. That's interesting. So they haven't actually destroyed the hatch on Laundry, they just open up a little bit of a hole into it. I guess so we can get a sightline down? Or maybe so it's easier for him to destroy the hatch when if he does choose to rotate? Ooh.
Just probing for Soniqs. Looking for their correct entryway in. But still for SSG, though. Now that, of course, that top floor roam game that eventually Soniqs, they will have to try and face head on. The first drop comes in. Again, Cafe can be played very slow. We've seen his favorite teams in the past where they take a decent amount of setup. But Soniqs don't really strike me as that team who go for that playstyle. But if they realize that originally bringing the Lion with the fast aggressive nature that we know they can also bring, if it's not working for them, hey, they may as well go for something different.
Super going to be still holding on to Cocktail Lounge and seeing what he can do there as well, as Soniqs have actually got a decent amount of control right now over that top floor area, but no kills going out either side just yet. If anything, this always will benefit the attackers to have that control, to have that utility available to themselves, and we always say you need to be aggressive, you need to get the utility off the board before it can be deployed. But it looks like Soniqs should start to deploy it soon.
So again, Pillars is just open, I would say, for Super to kind of walk on in and take control of a great standpoint. And that Pillars offers a lot for this bomb site specifically, because it gives you a main entryway and a main line of sight right into the heart of the mining and dining bomb site. You know, there's not a lot of bomb sites that give a massive double door that looks straight into the point, and if they can utilize that and control that area specifically, they should have no issues. The only thing now that I think with the new Cafe is going to be that new set of staircases. That's what you have to worry about in Pillars, because Pillars was always known as like, oh, it's free real estate.
It's kind of interesting that SSG would not bring a Kayad here to try and trick the hatch, because there has been no Maverick at all from Soniqs, but, well, they guess they just don't need it right now. Airjabs will get detonated on that white stairs rotate as Rampy will find the first kill of the round. Slabin is going to go down. Canadian very low HP right now as Bosco still waiting on the red stairs for his own rotate. 20 seconds left to go on the clock. Soniqs really going to have to start about thinking about how they're going to move through this as Gonfi is going to put some dirt in. Oh, but no, he's going to get put down. Bosco and Rampy both finding kills of their own. Neptunes is down. It's all down to Goddess and a 1v5 to try and bring this in. This is looking somewhat unlikely. Neptunes is down and the impact comes out. The Pokeball, another flawless from Space Station.
Double catch. Nice one. An SSG. 5-1. This is quick. I was not expecting this right off the rip, James.
Yeah, this is looking really good for Space Station right now. We are going to be heading to Border for our next map though, and We did see Soniqs actually beat SSG here, but they did get absolutely destroyed by Rogue here. So, yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see how this does go down. Spacestation begin their attacks, and you can already see Needs making their way into the lineup.
If you're Soniqs, now you worry because you have to play against a Jaegerless defense. You now have to play around these incredible utility operators that we know that can be brought in. You think of smokes are going to be a big thing. Even Sophia, does she really have a counter now? No, and we know how strong she can be with the impacts that she can provide to like Maestro turrets. And actually surprising that they're not bringing Sophia whenever Maestro is available and there's no Jaeger. I thought she would kind of be like the go-to, but they're bringing the Ashe. But Sophia Ashe, fragging potential over utility. I'd take the utility.
I think they're both kind of fine. It is interesting though, like normally you would bring the Ashe to like burn the ADSs, right? Like
Yeah,
she
the
has the
flashbangs. Yeah.
So the fact that we do see, we see Ashe as well coming out from Soniqs as well. So like, I don't know, it's just an interesting lineup from Spacestation. Like especially the Twitch. I really wouldn't have expected Twitch maybe to counter the mirror as well.
Thinking he's trying to get this game done really quick with the F2. That's what he's going for.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I guess we'll see what happens.
Well, you know him better than all of us. He's like your best mate.
He's not really like a Twitch player,
You know,
though.
he's your Leon Gids to me. That's what he is, isn't he?
I guess, yeah.
But of course, if we were to put my player against your player, my player would win.
Would he?
Leon Gids would beat Finky Ned because he's already done it at Rally, my friend.
Okay.
And you can't argue against that.
It's 1-0 so far. We'll see if Secret and Spacestation both qualify, and then we'll see what happens. But moving into round number 7, this is going to be the first attack from Spacestation. We'll see exactly what they want to do here. Looks like mostly a top floor take into that downstairs area. So, like, Soniqs did the same thing, and I feel like the big issue with this kind of attack is you have to move very, very, very quickly, and you have to have a good roam play.
You do. Cafe, it does put a lot of pressure on the attackers to get their heads together and figure out where they want to go, because there is a lot of different setups that we've seen teams kind of produce. You know, there's been top floor holds, there has been anchor on site holds, there's been rotations that have kind of came in as well. There's certain teams who really utilize the roam game. No Nomad for SSG, which could be a little bit surprising and could catch them up on the reverse if Soniqs want to try and go for a quick roam, but there is no free speeds though in their lineup, so it wouldn't really tell us that. And just the whole format that Soniqs have went for, it is very hunker down on site and just try and hold on strategy, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is, and there's no reason for them to really pull a roam game out here. I mean, they do have multiple C4s up on the table from Super, Goddess, and Gomfy, so they should be able to deny the vertical play if it did come through, and Rampy, of course, will be able to make sure of that. Goddess could be used for cooking, you know?
Making a pizza.
Something like that. It's about halfway through the round now. Spacestation still not really with that much control, but they're starting to do it, and there we go. Fultz is going to be opening up what he can from the vertical play. Nice sightlines being opened up here, and Spacestation should be able to complete their attack right now.
Yeah, I'm really shocked that Soniqs have allowed SSG to carry out this playstyle. We've discussed with bringing in Canadian, SSG look like a much more slower paced team who want to make sure everything's checked off. You're allowing them to have their attack so cleanly. Now they have a minute, they've opened up above you, they're rotating in towards Bakery. You haven't really applied any pressure to Bakery as well. I just feel as if Soniqs, they could get cut out very easily just from the upstairs verticality. Like, what can they really do to stop this? What, C4s? Is that what they're relying on? That's never going to be a guaranteed kill.
Guys, it's going to get injured as she attempted to throw out her C4, but still lots of Valkyrie cameras up on the board for Soniqs, so we do still have that white stairs rotate available. Neptune's going to move through into Kochak. Super still alive in Bakery as well, but not for long as Bosco will take him out. And we'll see Spacestation beginning their main attack, their execute. But they've got a lot of time left as Neptune's going to white peek out small, does take that thermite charge off the board, and he brings down Canadian as well. Bosco going to try and push through prep now, but this is not good at all. They've lost their thermite, they've lost their complete entry. This is not good for Spacestation. They're going to have to try and collapse. Sylvan takes down one, Gomfy takes down one, but Bosco and Rampy both strike back. It's all down to Celeb, and the plant is going to start to go down from Bosco. All they have to do is deny the plant, but no! From the prep window, Spacestation will cover it. What an execute at the end there. I can't believe they still won that after they lost their thermite.
Oh, if Legion was just a little bit more quicker and he did sprint in there, he would have been able to stop that. He was too slow. You know, if he did sprint in, time would have been killed, would have got the frag out, and then that would have been the round for Soniqs, but just unfortunate the way it goes. But still for SSG, even though they won the round, wasn't as convincing as what I thought it would be.
Yeah, I think they wasted a lot of time on that kind of execute, and as soon as they went for that thermite plant and, you know, they killed Super, they cleared all of that out quite quickly, they got into Bakery, but as soon as that wide peak came out from Neptune's, I thought it was all over.
He's not happy that he got the nade
Missed
down, is he?
opportunity. Missed opportunity.
Unlucky.
That could have been a freebie.
That's a very disappointing dam as well, isn't it? I can feel like the disappointment from text. How's that possible?
NA is always a very vocal region. We'll see another kitchen defense, however, coming out from Soniqs. And again, like, seems like the same kind of strategy, however, Gonfi's brought the Mozzie this time.
SSG not changing up their lineup either. Still sticking with what they have. Bringing in the IQ, I suppose still fearing that Valkyrie's on the table. It would be like my main guess. Really, that's all IQ's brought forward is to either Sable Valkyrie or Echo. It's really sad that she's only designed to like counter essentially so many operators, but she's only really used to counter 2. That's strange that that works, isn't it?
Yeah, it is interesting how that kind of works out. Gonfi's actually brought barbed wire and not a nitro here, so there's actually only 2 nitros available for Soniqs, and if they do play that downstairs strategy, it's going to be hard for them to try and fight back against that vertical play coming through.
I want to see rotations. I want to see a little bit more fight for Soniqs, and oh no. All right, well, we know how basically they're playing this matchup. Depression is again another tone that's just flying through Soniqs at the moment.
When Goddess did that same unhappy face on border, they didn't win the next 2 maps.
I don't think it's going to happen this time, James.
I mean, anything's possible.
Again, Mr. Optimism, as always. I'm just more of a realist.
I mean, to be fair, like, we saw Soniqs get absolutely demolished on border, and we were all thinking, like, that's it, that's over, right? But then they brought in the next 2 maps, and they managed to pull the upset, so...
Well, I mean, for Soniqs, what do they have to play for? They can just go in and just absolutely pull it out of the bag. They could happily enough go ahead and surprise us all. They have nothing to lose. And a team, whenever they play where they have nothing to lose, is like one of the scariest things you can play against. It really is. Terrifying.
Yeah, the pressure's definitely on.
Like, we're not expecting Soniqs to win this. That's the thing, we're not expecting to. If they lose, we're not going to be upset, are we?
Most likely not.
Well, I wouldn't be upset. Would you be upset?
I would be disappointed.
Well, so you want them to win, and then, well, you'll be disappointed if SSG don't win this.
No. That's not what I mean. I just mean more like, if this ends in like a 7-1 and like a 7-0 or something like that.
Oh, so you want to see a bit more of a fight back,
yeah, but
you want to see another 45-round series, James?
I do. I would love to see another 45-round
series. Well, on your own, son.
So... Still match point, however, to Space Station as they'll start to move in and do the same clear that they had been doing previously with only 1 minute left to go on the clock. Neptune's still playing very aggressively onto bottom red here, but will get distracted by the window getting broken down and thinking they will pick him up for free. Great coordination coming out from Space Station there to be able to take over that control. And now they'll start to flash out Super and take him down. There goes Goddess, but Slubin will find one of his own. They'll start to strike back a little bit, just peeking out wide onto that small bakery side. But Super goes down after getting flashed multiple times. He'll be out of it. Force finds one. Gonfi will find one of his own, but he's got it all to do right now. He has no nitro available to himself, but only 30 seconds left to go on the clock for Space Station to make their execute. They'll start to open up the walls as well now from Canadian. Gonfi will move all the way into that prep window to see what's going on exactly. Wait for the wall to open up and see if he can get the kill here, but no, Canadian will take him down. No, it's actually going to be Rampy who takes him down. That's going to be good halves who come out all across the round. Space Station will take the first map very decisively, 7-1.
That was quick. Weren't expecting that one, but still, SSG didn't see a whole lot of their attacks, and hopefully we'll see a lot more fight back from Sonic. Still another map to go. But if this cafe is any more of an outline, then it could be, again, another miserable day for Soniqs. We'll see you after the break.